competition on the island?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, first of all, we're based at the Oualie Beach Resort, which actually has just been voted by Islands magazine, the readers, has voted us the second best beach resort in the entire world, under $200 a night. So in other words, it's affordable and but gorgeous. Yeah, so Oualie is the center of a lot of sporting activities on the island. First of all year round, we have sailing based here, ocean kayaks. There's actually mountain biking. I think you met Winston.
We've just had a quick chat with Winston, and he was very entertaining.
Good. Scuba diving. We have the only 5-star PADI scuba operation on the island, and it's based right here at Oualie Beach. In fact, that big blue boat is one. Oh, thank you. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yeah. So, scuba diving is big here. In fact, Ellis, who's the dive instructor, is off to Dima. Is Nevis Tourism being represented at Dima this year?
In Lima?
Dima is the big dive show.
Oh yes,
every year.
I do know about
this year it's in Las Vegas, so I don't know how much trade show they'll be doing and how much gambling. But yeah, so diving's big. But apart from the sporting stuff that goes on here every single day, we also have various events on an annual basis. Starting, I would say the ocean swim, cross-channel swim we call it. Basically, from this lovely beach, I would want to leave this lovely beach. But anyway, this year, 2014, over 200 people left here, swam across to St. Kitts. It looks so beautiful over there, and it is beautiful over there. Some of them swam over there. Jane, how long did it take you?
Just over an hour.
An hour?
Yeah,
Jesus.
an hour and a couple of minutes.
You must be fit. It took me a little longer. I was in a kayak. Yeah, I was in one of the rescue kayaks.
And you're originally from the island? You've lived here all your life?
My family actually were originally from England, but we got kicked out of England in 1648. Karen, you're the family historian, is that right? Roughly around then. Apparently it was the Cromwell Rebellion. And
they were on the wrong side.
Yeah, our ancestors made the mistake of supporting the king, against this fellow who was promoting democracy. Anyway, bad move on the family part.
Well, I don't know. I think it's a good move on the family part. Looking here.
Yeah. Well, in those days, it's either you get hung or you go make a colony. Yeah. I'll make the colony.
So anyway, the first Yearwood left England with his trunk and his sword and landed in Barbados, which was 1648. Barbados was colonized, I think, first in 1632, so it was really early days. And they carved out a little patch of paradise for themselves. Entrepreneurs, a little bit of growing stuff, plantations and so on. A little bit of not piracy. It was called
privateering.
Privateering, which meant you had a letter from whoever's in charge saying you could go and rape and pillage as long as it wasn't English shipping or English allies. So a bit of that, and then the family prospered. Some of them went up to the States, but my branch stayed in the Caribbean, moved from Barbados to Montserrat. They got chased out of there, I think by the volcano, given trouble, around 1860, somewhere around there.
Around there, yeah.
And ended up in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Oh.
So we're still here. Still engaged in a little bit of growing stuff. Still engaged in a little bit of piracy.
Not so much now.
Nowadays we call it tourism and real estate. Nothing's changed really.
Very true, very true. Never a truer word said.
Charging an arm and a leg for accommodations and so on. But as I mentioned to you, Oualie Beach, we're gentle pirates. We don't rip off as much as some of the other ones do. So we try and keep our room prices below 200, which is why I mentioned we were just voted as the the second best beach resort in the world,
I saw
with
that.
under $200 a night.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But anyway, back to sports. So we mentioned the swim. Then after that, the next sort of sporting activity we have is sailing. Well, you know, every month we have a challenge. We have the Nevis Yacht Club. I actually rent them a property next door for a small amount. I think it's $1 a year. but they teach the kids how to sail, and we're just being recognised as an Olympic sport. You know, so the federation and all that. So we're training the youth of Nevis to sail. So every Sunday, actually, there's a training program here.
Oh.
And some people have been generous and donated some optimists. Those are little tiny tubs for the little kids to sail in. And then when they get a bit better, they move on to lasers, which are really tippy, fast boats. And then we've got a few Hobie Cats and things like that. And then a couple of big boats, bigger boats, shall we say. And it's really interesting. We've got Mark Theron's actually the head of he's the commodore of our Nevis Yacht Club, and he's got some funding, and he's sending off one chap from St Kitts actually to learn how to be an instructor of instructors. His name is Nick Dupre, and he comes over every Sunday and he's teaching our instructors and the kids, you know, how to sail.
Wow.
So we hope to have Nevis and of course St Kitts, because it's one federation, in the next Olympics.
Oh.
That's
Maybe.
wonderful.
Maybe. If
Watch this space. Watch this space.
Exactly. If it's not this Olympics, it'll be the next one. Actually, where's the next one?
That's
Rio.
Oh, okay, well that'd be all right. But
Yeah, that'd be quite nice.
I'm not sure there's any water in Qatar, is there?
Yeah, that might be next. Yeah.
Yeah. So sailing. So in May we have a fledgling regatta starting up. We call it the Booby Island Regatta, and I think that's going to be something that will grow year after year. So Jane, you need to come down for that one.
Yeah, I'd love to come down for that one.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
At the moment, just a small number of boats, maybe 20 boats this year, but we need to find a big sponsor. And I think eventually that'll challenge Antigua Sailing Week as a whole event for the off-season in Nevis. You know, a bit of sailing and lots of drinking.
That sounds good to me. Count me in.
Back to the piracy, isn't it?
And then over the summer, the sporting activity tends to concentrate more about, you know, dancing and partying and drinking. That's the Culturama, which is the carnival, the Nevis Carnival.
Yep.
Late July.
And that takes place in across the island, or?
Across the island, yeah. A lot of fun. And then if we could jump on to September, which is that's marathon season.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Nevis Marathon Week.
Nevis Marathon, Nevis Race Week, I think it's called.
Yes.
So we have a marathon. We also have a horse racing during that week, and donkey racing as well, which is a lot of fun, I think.
And not horse racing in terms of come from England, a traditional racetrack, I would say, as
absolutely, but I think we go the wrong way around the track. And
They go clockwise.
And we
Clockwise.
don't have the starting gates, you just have a rope, right?
No,
no
not
rope,
even
no,
that.
no,
Even
no.
not even
It's
that.
just
They
the-
just
the
get the
horses kind of
into
mill around
position.
and have
Yeah.
flags. It's the real old-fashioned stuff. So, yeah.
Sounds amazing.
In fact, my racehorse, or my daughter's racehorse, was called Magic Mary. And I was able to buy her cheaply in Puerto Rico and imported because she didn't like starting in those traditional stores. So they got rid of her. So we brought her to Nevis. She did fine because, you know,
Fantastic.
we didn't have any stalls.
I love that.
And is that mostly local horses racing in that, or do
Yeah,
yeah.
local horses. You know, both the traditional horses and then also the thoroughbreds have been brought in, and we have second and third generation thoroughbreds born on the island now.
And I've seen a few donkeys on the road. Are they racing donkeys, or have I missed out
Gotta
on?
catch them first.
Actually, the donkey race is the best part
Those are
of race day.
hysterical.
Yeah. You've got this little donkey, and usually, you know, big guys are hanging on they're sitting on the rump, you know, racing on. So those are really the most fun. And then after that's race week is September. Then
Yeah.
October, What happens in October?
Fishing tournament.
Fishing tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big thing. It's your thing.
Well, it's not my thing. It's the Nevis Yacht Club's thing, but it's hosted at Oualie Beach.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. It's still small. We have between 15 and 30 boats depending on the weather that come in. This year we had less boats because of Hurricane Gonzalo went through and damaged a lot of the boats and marinas in the neighboring islands of Antigua and St. Martin. But of course, Nevis being paradise, we never get any of those things like hurricanes. So we were fine. But
and I take it there's a lot of fish out there? I mean, it is the ocean, as you were pointing out earlier.
well, some people go for the fishing and some people go for the drinking while dangling a rod in the water. And then you've got the gin palaces to go fishing on, and then you've got the boats the rail men go fishing on. So, well, of course, I go fishing in a rail man's boat, which is my brother's boat. It's called Dragonfly, and it's only 24 feet long. There's no heads, so everything is over the side. And I mean that's real fishing. So you've got a choice. So the prizes are divided into the under 24 foot category, and then the gin palaces. But actually, interesting enough, the entire contest was won this year by an under 24 boat.
Oh.
Fantastic.
I thought you were going to say a marvelous dolphin. But don't get excited. Dolphin is what we call Dorado, or in the Pacific we call them mahi mahi. But in the Caribbean it's called dolphin. So it's not flipper. It's that big bull-headed looking thing, and beautiful colours when you get them out of the water. Gold and blue and green and yellow. It's amazing
And
light.
a tricky fish to catch?
Yeah, absolute gorgeous fish to catch. We catch those by following the birds. You probably saw. I saw you filming earlier on today. Did you see those frigate birds flying around?
I think I did. Yes. Yeah.
It's basically a small type of albatross.
Because it's quite big.
It's big, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, nice wingspan. And they're up there. They can't actually land in the water, so they're up high, and they can see what's going on for miles and miles. And then because they can't land in the water, they have to depend on big fish scaring the little fish. And as the little fish jump to the surface, they dive down and just grab it in the beak, and they're off. So you just follow the birds, and they know where the big fish are feeding. So if you're after dolphin, you just look for the frigate birds and just follow them until when you see them diving down, this action, and you just circle around there, and hopefully you've got a dolphin on the line.
And I suspect, obviously, being an island, people are very proud of fishing, so there's a lot of competition when it comes to the actual.
A lot of boasting. Mine's bigger.
The one that got away.
Yeah. So dolphin, that's one of the main things. So you should take a picture of the trophy, the fishing tournament trophy, which is really beautiful. It's on the bar there. It's so big and heavy that no one actually wants to carry it. So it lives here at Oualie Beach. But there are 4 fish on that trophy. We mentioned the dolphin, which is the mahi-mahi, the dorado. Another one we call for is the wahoo, which is a fast fish. It looks like a pike, really delicious to eat. In fact, that's one of the main things we serve here at Oualie Beach Restaurant, is the fresh wahoo. And by the way, all the fish that we catch and serve at a Oualie Beach Restaurant it's always served fresh. So we catch it, gut it, fillet it, and keep it fresh on ice. So we will absolutely refuse to freeze fish at a Oualie Beach Restaurant. And so that's why it tastes so absolutely amazing here.
Well, I was going to say, when you've got the ocean there to actually go and...
Yeah, but the problem is that, people catch a lot of fish and they bring it in, and then maybe there's no more fish for another week. So people tend to freeze the fish. Most restaurants freeze fish, which is very understandable, but it kills the flavour. So here at Oualie, thanks to my wife Karen here, who's our main lady when it comes to food. Yeah, we always serve fresh fish here. So wahoo, we also go for sailfish and marlin, which are big game fish. But in our tournament we don't allow people to bring those in. You can catch it and you can photograph it, but you have to catch and release.
Right.
Yeah, they're too rare and too important to actually bring in and eat. So yeah, so that's always catch and release. And then the champion boat is the boat that catches the most fish. And I'd say this year that was won by a boat called Ascari, captained by Jason Oualie, and it was a real man's boat. It was under 24 feet.
Under 24 feet.
Yeah, so hard work, out there in the rain.
And how long does the tournament go on for? How long?
Well, the boats have to be back in the bay here by 2:30 in time for the weighing. When do people go out? It depends on how serious they are. Jason Oualie, who won the tournament, he left here at 3 o'clock in the morning in the dark. And he travelled for 2.5 hours to this, up in this direction, due east, to an amazing fishing ground, which is there's an underwater volcano that comes up from about 3,000 feet down. It comes up to probably at the closest about 30 feet below the surface. And then the crater is about a mile in diameter. So tremendous fishing around the edge there. And it's so far out that it's not fished a lot. So unfortunately my alarm didn't go off, so I didn't make the 3 o'clock. Or maybe it was I was drinking too much the night before, I got it. But anyway, I did leave the dock at 5 in the morning. It was still dark. But it was too late to get to that fancy bank, so we went on the east coast of Nevis and then down towards Redunda, which is an island between Nevis and Montserrat. And we did well. We caught some wahoo, we caught some dolphin, and we caught a small tuna. But unfortunately, in fact, we caught the only tuna in the competition. So we came back in thinking it was big money, But unfortunately, our tuna didn't qualify. It was I think 3 ounces less than the qualifying fish size. So unfortunately, even though we caught the only tuna of the competition, it was disqualified as being too small. I gave it to our neighbours for sushi. Yeah. So I'd suggest anyone interested in the fishing tournament, book early. If you've got a boat in the surrounding areas, come on down. Boats come usually from Saba, Statia, Antigua, St. Martin, Montserrat. We've had boats as far as St. Croix in Puerto Rico. Some of the boats come down, the captains. It's an expensive operation because a lot of fuel and so on. So some captains will offer a space on their boat for a small fee. So I'd recommend anyone interested in fishing tournament to get hold of us.
And you can go on fishing trips here throughout the season.
Yep. Every day. It's getting a bit dark through here right now, but our fishing boats take people out fishing all the time. So.
And looking seasonal, obviously we're not too far away from Christmas. What happens here on Christmas Day, dare I ask?
Christmas Day? Oh my God.
Juve and St. Kitts.
Yeah. Nevis is actually quite quiet on Christmas Day. It's fairly conservative here. Our carnival is actually, 6 months later. But it's St. Kitts, which is our sister island. They go crazy, over the Christmas period. Again, Christmas itself is quiet in St. Kitts, very, very religious population. But Boxing Day, which is following Christmas, things go wild in St. Kitts. So a lot of people leave from Oualie Beach, leave from our dock, and go over and start partying from about 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh wow!
Yeah, the bands take to the streets, and you dance behind the bands until about 10, 11 in the morning. And so it's called Juve, which I believe is French for break of day.
Ah.
Juvet morning. Juvet. Je ouvert. Juvet.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
So I know that you've probably spoken quite a lot about the sporting activities on the island, but did you mention the Blues Festival?
Oh my God, no, I didn't. But you want to talk about that too?
Yeah,
Because that's not exactly sport.
No, it's not exactly sport. However, it does happen pretty close to the Nevis and St Kitts swim. So if somebody was coming over here for
Absolutely,
an
yeah.
extended time, that's a perfect opportunity.
Yeah, true. Well, first of all, Oualie is quite well known for its entertainment, particularly on a Tuesday night, believe it or not, midweek. You survive Monday, you survive Tuesday. But what do? Friday's a long way off. So people come to Oualie on a Tuesday night for live entertainment, and we feature usually local bands. Nothing too loud and energetic, but we've got a house band. It's called the Relish Band. Now, why relish? Well, in the Caribbean, when you get a plate of food, you've got the salad and the veg, and you got your carbohydrate. But the relish is the good stuff on the plate. That's your protein or your fish or whatever. So our band at the moment is called the Relish Band. The name of the band changes constantly. I think last month it was Big Conk Johnny and the Tan Lines. So.
I love that.
But thank God we changed that one.
I quite like that one.
Yeah, me too. I'm all over that.
Well, my name is John, and conks are everywhere, but I'm not sure that Big Conk fit, So I decided to get rid of that one. So anyway, right now it's the Relish Band. I was informed last week that the band's about to change again. I think it's now going to be Raw Leash or something. Anyway, but Livy's who's our bass player, keeps coming up with these names. Anyway, right now it's the Relish Band.
Called Identity Crisis.
We play on Tuesday nights here. I'm the lead vocalist and I play rhythm guitar.
I'm coming next Tuesday.
Reasonably well. Excellent. Yeah. Oh right. And
blues numbers.
Yeah, we do blues numbers. We do mostly rock and roll. We throw in a little reggae, obviously, and some little calypso. And we get visiting musicians that come down and stay at Oualie, all year round and chip in. Like, I think Jill's over there somewhere. Her husband's coming on Tuesday. Actually, no, he's coming on the A flight on Wednesday, so he might play Friday night for us. But he's a really good player. This Tuesday, you're coming, Jane?
Yeah.
Because we've got a visiting musician called Per. Yeah, he's Irish, originally from Sweden, but married an Irish woman, so he speaks English with an Irish accent. Okay. But he's really brilliant, so he'll be doing a lot of stuff on this Tuesday. So dance music, it's kind of like pop.
Okay.
Good. Not as rock and rollish as the stuff I do, but yeah, so he's all right. No, he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And then, actually, the Relish Band are playing now at Nevis Plantation. It's really a bit of a stretch, from Little Oualie Beach, 3.5 stars, to 6-star Nisbet, is it?
I'm not sure. I don't think it's 6.
all right, 4 then. But anyway, yeah. So we played there last Monday. It was fascinating.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got all these elderly English hoi polloi. We got them up dancing.
I knew you were going to say the word elderly. There's this line.
Well, they're a little bit older than we are, I guess. But anyway. We enjoyed playing over there, and we're going to play again this Monday.
Sorry, I just see something.
But yeah, sorry, you wanted me to talk about the Blues Festival. The Blues Festival is a brainchild of the pub industry in the UK. I say that because last year I went to the UK, one of the events that Jane was organising, and I looked up an old friend of mine. I hadn't seen him for about 40 years. His name was Richard Pavitt, and of course we immediately went to a pub to renew friendships. and I learned that. He and I were at school together when we were about 16, and we were real rebel types. He was, in fact, we went to a boarding school, what you call a public school in England, and we were we were terrible, terrible kids. I mean, we were the bane of this poor public school. He was, English stock, but from Borneo, I think, or something. I'm sort of English stock by a stretch, but from the Caribbean. So we didn't fit into the box with ties and the mortarboards. So we were real rebels anyway. So we both got ended up getting expelled. But thanks, Ryan. But my dad was a little bit more. He had a bit more gift of the gab than Richard's dad, and explained to the school that he had quite a few children, and they were all planning to come to this public school, and so they could expel me and receive no more income for the next 10 years, or take me back and have the stream of kids for the next 10 years. So of course they took me back. But Richard was an only kid, so he, he couldn't use that as an excuse. Anyway, Richard did extremely well. He went out as an entrepreneur and sold his company, and then went into the music business, had his own label, managed a bunch of bands, and still manages a couple of very, really successful bands. So of course, when I learned this, and me being a wannabe musician, we came up to this amazing conclusion that we should have a Nevis Blues Festival. So it all sounded great. We told Jane here, who ran with the idea, and oh yeah.
Yeah, well, it sounds amazing.
It does.
The trouble is now we've got to do the damn thing.
But John, tell Paul about the venues. I mean, the venue, basically,
Oh, yeah.
there's going to be gigs here on the beach.
Oh wow.
So
To a very small, secluded audience.
the venue is going to be at Oualie Beach. Richard is actually coming down in a couple of weeks to finalise everything with us. And we're not sure whether we'll do the stage right here on the beach here and just have it here, or we'll clear a bit of land further down the beach there. But we want it to be a beach venue, because it'll be so unique. I mean, people go and see blues all over the world, but you're in a concert hall somewhere, and we want this to be different. And we don't think it'll ever get large. We want it to be kept small island, small blues festival. You won't have to be queuing up for your pint of beer or whatever, hopefully. And right on the beach, sunset. So we'll have 3 nights of the main stage event here, probably from 9 to midnight. And then we'll have some special, smaller, sort of, high-ticket events around the island. We're not exactly sure where yet. We've been talking to, we've had offers from Montpellier and Hermitage and Nisbets and Golden Rock. So we're looking around. We also had an offer from the chap who now owns Mount Travis, which is that old plantation of above 4 Seasons up in the hills. I mean, if we floodlit the ruins there, that would be an amazing event.
Wow.
So we're looking at that. Another one, which was my favourite, I suggested to Richard, was Cottle Church.
Oh, we saw it
We went today, yeah. It's amazing, yeah.
Cottle Church is an amazing place. First of all, I decided to get married there because that was where I married Karen at Cottle Church.
Did you?
Yes.
I didn't know that, John.
It was a ruin covered in bush, and we cleared it all out.
Amazing.
But the reason I decided to get married there was, first of all, it's on the family plantation ground, so we're on Brown Hill Estate. Actually, most of the plantation is owned by my scuba divers family, Ellis's family, and my family owned Chunkwood.
Okay.
But it was famous for one main reason. It was the first church on the island where the master of the plantation worshipped in the same church as his slaves.
Yeah.
So me getting married, I thought this was marvellous. My wife is the master, I'm the slave. We get married at Cottle Church.
Do you know, I have to say, I actually love Cottle Church because of the story. It's the scene of.
You said it was your favourite place today, yeah.
Oh, it's lovely.
Of slavery on
Yeah,
Nevis. It's just astonishing.
It is amazing. And it was actually the island's first topless wedding. So, yeah. My wife attended the first topless wedding on the island. It was fascinating. The church has no roof.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I didn't. I was about to ask the question.
No. Nevis isn't like that. But a candlelit, can you imagine a candlelit blues festival in Cottle Church? Oh,
Great.
astonishing.
Yeah. So,
And that's April?
April 16th, 17th, 18th.
So given the fact the swim is on the 5th, I don't know about you, but that sounds
5th of April.
April.
Oh, fantastic!
So that sounds like a pretty good holiday to me, to combine the swim and to combine the blues festival. You know,
Absolutely.
wonderful.
That's great.
Yeah. So the artists for the Blues Festival are being established as we speak. There are a couple of names already on the website. NevisBluesFestival.com is the website, and please go on there and have a look. At the moment, the headline artist is Ian Seagal, which is one of the top up-and-coming blues artists in Europe. And another lady has been signed up, Denise Gordon. She's more famous for gospel and blues. She's a black Englishwoman, but with heritage from Nevis. So it's going to be really good to have her back. She's actually played with my Relish band here at Oualie before on a Tuesday night. So.
And Relish will be playing? Maybe under another name by then, but...
Well, I'm not sure we're good enough. I'm going to leave that up to Richard Pavitt, my school friend, and who's really the promoter and main guy behind all this. But one of the things he warned me from day one is when you're hosting a proper international blues festival, the last thing you want is amateur bands to. So we'll see. We're practicing like crazy, and but Richard will have to decide if we're good enough. But if not, we will certainly be playing at Oualie Beach before and after the event. So the after blues festival parties will all be here at Oualie Beach, and people are welcome to come and jam with us and have fun.
Awesome.
Sounds amazing.
Awesome. Oh, thank you, John.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Absolute pleasure.